Okay, we should be recording now.
Okay.
Okay, welcome everyone. I am your mediator today. My name is Adeline, and my role today is to be here and help you all in a neutral third party role to hopefully reach a resolution for your issue today. And so, just so you all kind of know how the mediation process is going to work, I am not a judge. Again, I'm here today just as a third party neutral. I don't have the authority to make any decisions for you all. I am not allowed to pick and choose sides. And the outcome today is totally up to you all as the parties. Again, I'm not here to make any decisions. Um, my goal is just to help you move forward in any way that's possible. I'll try to help you all and listen to both sides and then see if we can come to an agreement. You all can choose to end the mediation at any time if you don't want to continue moving forward, but I would ask that both of you all participate today in good faith. Um, Everything that we're going to talk about is going to be confidential between yourself and I. And so you're able to be open about anything that you want to share with me, and I won't be sharing that with the other party or any third party outside of who's here today. Um, just to kind of go over some ground rules, I would like that if we could all agree to take turns speaking and not interrupt each other. I would prefer if we call each other by first names and not do any name calling. Um, I would like if we can agree to listen respectfully and sincerely and try to understand the other person's needs and interests. Um, that we will agree to speak up if something's not working for us in the mediation. You all are free to request a break if you need to at any time. Um, and I would also ask that you all would point out if you feel that I, as the mediator, is not being impartial at any point during today's session. Do you all have any questions about those kind of ground rules?
I don't think so.
I think we're good.
Okay. Before we get started, I also want to let you all know that I have drafted up an agreement to mediate. I'll just go over it, and then if you all consent, I will you know, do a little electronic signature for you. So it's very similar to what I just went over. It lists you all as the parties. It lists myself, the mediator, Adeline Sly, as a neutral third party who will facilitate negotiation. The mediator does not represent either party here today. All communications made during mediation are confidential. Such communication shall not be disclosed to any third party, and any statements made today during the mediation are inadmissible in any court moving forward. And then lastly, the parties agree to participate in good faith. Do you all have any questions about the agreement?
Sounds
Mm,
good.
Okay, perfect. We just have to get those formalities out of the way before we get started. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, kind of the process of how this is going to work today is obviously we're all together right now. You all have the chance to do opening statements if you so wish with the other party present. After that, we will go ahead and move into separate rooms, and you all will have the opportunity to speak with myself. Then I will go in between rooms and facilitate negotiation in that way. Do you all have any questions about that?
all good.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with this together portion. Does anybody have an opening statement that they would like to make while we're all together?
Noah, do you have anything?
Not necessarily, but if you have something, I'm happy to come up with something as well. I have like a stuff I want to talk about with the mediator, but if you don't want to reveal anything, that's fine.
I don't think I have any like opening.
Yeah, it's I'm all good just to go into
Yep.
separate. discussion.
Okay, sounds good. Does anybody want to go first?
Doesn't matter. Either way.
Who's the plaintiff in this matter? I'll just go with plaintiff first.
I'm the plaintiff in this matter.
Okay. I will see if I can make a breakout room and I'll go to Noah first and let's see how this works out.
Grace, if not, we can just pretend that you don't hear anything.
I can always just like turn down my volume or something.
That works too.
Okay,
It's
so I'm gonna
probably better.
say create two breakout rooms,
Okay.
assign manually.
Does that mean we choose, I'm guessing? Or do you choose for us?
I think, okay, I get to choose. So I'm gonna put Noah in room one and I'm gonna put Grace in room two, and then I think I can hop back and forth.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna say open all rooms and see what happens.
Oh,
Okay,
perfect.
it's us. Okay, perfect.
Can you still see me?
Yes, I can still see you and it's still recording, so we're good.
I was going to
Okay.
ask about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still recording, so we're good. So now it's just you and I. Anything you
Okay.
say to me now will be confidential. I'm not allowed to share anything with the other party unless you allow me to do so. So please feel free to speak openly and honestly with me. Um, and I'll just kind of give the floor over to you and you can start wherever you want to.
Yeah. So we kind of view this as a breach of contract and a not meeting the expectations that were met. Have you gone through the facts at all?
I do not have.
So the general layout here for my facts is we basically had a path that was set up a specific way, and we liked the way it was done cosmetically. We wanted to keep that, whatever. It started to deteriorate, and there was a scout auction, and in that scout auction, we basically auctioned for a redo of our pathway and our steps. So we bidded $1,200 and to have that walkway replaced. Well, the mason kept putting us off, and it took 10 days until the mason was gonna do it, and she was super reluctant to. Well, we come home after that 10 days, a week later, she come on our property and messed up our entire thing. And like it was done in a checkered pattern, but we specifically we just want the walkway redone in the same way it was done. It completely changed the aesthetic. So we get mad. Um, it's basically he said it's a $3,000 $3,500 job, and with ripping out the old one and that the new one is good, it's about $1,200 value, which is fine, but we don't have the money to really fix it again. Like we are already really low on cash, and so we wanted it done a specific way. He said it's structurally fine, but the design we just don't like the design at all, and we wanted to have some. We wanted it done our way. That was kind of what we when the contract said that it was a complete masonry service. It wasn't just some random redesign. It was kind of a full improvement and repair of the current walkway. And so we're pissed. We're mad, I guess. Sorry for the language, but we really just want the scouts to do what they wanted, which is a new walkway done carefully in the character of the house. And we don't really want to see this mason again. We want our money back. We want $1,500 for the mason. Um, we need because we want $1,500 to get a competent mason who's going to do the job without destroying the value of this asset. And so we were kind of thinking $3,500 is kind of a start to negotiation because that gets us $1,500. That gets us $1,200 done on the initial bid, and additionally, we have a leftover. $800, $700. We feel that's more than fair, just considering the financial situation we're in, the stress that was caused by the scouts. We we don't know like the time and effort and the stress this has caused us. We feel it's more than worth being a 3,500. Make it $4,000 just to so they can kind of come up to our claim a little bit. But we feel that it's more than fair to get this money back because we have to get a new mason who not only has to redo like repair, but he has to basically tear this whole thing apart because of the design and then build a new walkway. And so we found this to be a breach of contract. Um, we don't really. This isn't what we expected. We didn't get the benefit of like the Masons' work essentially. Like they got paid, but we didn't get a good outcome out of it.
Mhm.
And we just felt that to be a breach of contract. Obviously, they're probably going to say a different thing, but that's our perspective coming in on this case. Is we're owed this money. They destroyed the major asset of our property, and even if it's not monetarily, the same, it's the way we wanted it. So they might argue, I don't know if they will or not. It's like, well, it's actually more valuable for the asset, the house to have this walkway. But we wanted the walkway the way it was done. And so we tried communicating with your guy. He said he was too busy. And we just come home one week and he's there doing it without us like oversight or anything. So we felt like we never they might argue, well, he didn't communicate with us. We never had the chance to communicate. And every time we tried to, it was I'm too busy. And then he just randomly shows up and fixes our walkway. And that's how I'm seeing the facts here is it says he's too busy. I came home to find the Mason had come on my property and committed a travesty. And so that's kind of where we're feeling. $4,000 we feel is a good starting place to negotiate from. They might have a completely different perspective, but we feel it is more than fair to say $4,000 is a good deal for us. So,
Okay.
do you have any questions for me going into it?
I think that based on what you told me, um, that's a good starting number. Obviously, we'll have to see what they come back with. My one question for you is, are you all looking for like purely monetary damages? Is that really what you're looking for?
Yeah, we don't, from what I can tell, we don't really want to see this Mason again.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to hire a new Mason eventually, but right now we don't want any like specific like damages from them. We just want the money so we can go get a new Mason to do this right. We don't really want him to go redo the job. That's quite frankly, I don't trust him to do it correctly, him or her, I guess. But I don't trust them to do the job correctly. So we're just looking for monetary damages because we want this done right. And if they're going to mess it up the first time, we don't really want to put we're really mad at this person. We don't really want to have to engage with them again. So
I understand that. So it seems like you all really are just kind of looking for the money to be able to cover the cost of
we're
getting the job done
we're
again.
looking to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have to sell this house.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing, and we hope to get good money on it. This was really the only cosmetic issue at the house was this walkway,
Mm-hmm.
and we really we're tight on cash. We just went through a really emotional divorce.
Okay.
We need to sell this house to get money. We wanted it done right. It wasn't done right. And
Mm-hmm.
so we need money to fix it and get this house on the market and sell it so we can actually get some more money out of it. So that's kind of the position we're in.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what your perspective is on disclosure to them. I guess we would like, obviously, I know what you said is keeping disclosed. We don't really want specific facts disclosed unless they're willing to disclose specific facts to us, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Okay.
So we're kind of looking at $4,000 and see what she thinks of that.
Okay. I can do that. I'll go. do you kind of want me to explain to them where that number is coming from, or you just want me to flat out just say 4,000, this is what we've got and see what they come back with for
Maybe
this first number?
say for $4,000, they want pure monetary damages. They don't want the Mason to kind of redo it. They want someone else to come redo this.
Hmm.
Um, they get their 4,000, like they think it's more than fair. They'll explain why. And if they go, well, from my perspective, you could, if they start talking about like how they did it and how they communicated with us, you can kind of argue what, well, they said 10 days, like they were trying to communicate with you. It didn't work. You just showed up and you did it without any oversight. And leave it at that.
Okay,
Because that's not really, I don't think, any confidential information. That's just our perspective on what was done. And
sure.
if they're ask them to, if they're kind of willing to give them us their perspective, because I think if we have their perspective as well, we can kind of see, okay, like where is the root of this problem? How can we fix it?
Okay.
Make sense?
That does make sense. So I'm gonna jump over to the other room. I'll
Okay.
tell them your first bid of, or your first demand of 4,000, and kind of get some insight into their perspective, and then I'll hop back over here. So I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay. So again, just as a reminder, it's just you and I in this room. So you're more than welcome to share any confidential information with me and be open and honest. I am not allowed to share anything with the other party unless you specifically allow me to do so. So just before we jump into anything, I just wanted to give that reminder.
Perfect.
So their first demand is 4,000, just to go ahead and give you that. And then after saying that, I'll kind of just give the floor to you and you can go from there.
Okay, so it seems, I guess my first question, if I guess you can answer, is are they wanting to be compensated because they feel like the work we did does not match their like expectations? Is that sort of their argument or gist of damages where it's coming from?
Yeah, so their perspective is like a breach of contract
Okay.
claim.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to
Okay.
make sure. Um, Without sounding rude, I think 4,000 is crazy.
Okay.
Um, Personally, and I think just based on, I don't know if they have like the same auction notice that I have of like where their like bid went to.
Hmm.
Um, but the estimated value of work that they bid on was only $1,000. So from my perspective, it's very hard to justify anything over 1,000 because if we're looking at this like auction notice as a contract, then the value was only 1,000 ever to begin with.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of my first thoughts.
Hmm.
I almost see 1,000 as like a ceiling for our price range. I mean, I guess that is maybe subject to change, but I would say that's a pretty firm cap as far as limitations.
Okay. That's good to know.
Um, and I guess if it helps in sense of like just kind of like justifying or explaining that so it's not just a hard line like we're only doing 1,000 like in a
Mhm.
story. Um, One, I think the auction notice speaks for itself, but as far as like services that may have been like encompassing in, this sort of thing, nowhere in it does it say like a complete like remodel or replacement to the extent that they have taken it. Um, and we did let them know prior to starting any work that it was too much. So us even doing anything we feel like was kind of being the bigger person in a way, just based on how interactions went before that. So I guess that's kind of our gist of where we're coming from, so it doesn't seem so just aggressive hard line on.
Sure. Uh-huh, and that makes sense. I did have a question, like, because I didn't have a ton of facts before coming into this, so I kind of got their perspective on the
Gotcha.
facts. If
Yeah.
you feel comfortable with giving me your perspective of the facts, I think that that
Yeah.
would be helpful
Okay.
for me. And again, everything would be confidential what you tell me. So whatever you would like or would not like to share,
Mhm.
just kind of like getting your all's perspective, I think would be helpful for me too.
I think pretty much in like n this isn't very confidential. I wouldn't feel basically this seems like something we've done repetitively, offering services in this sort of auction to help scout troops.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess to me, reading the facts, if you're somebody maybe who, I don't know if the other side, this is their first time attending this event or whatnot, but you might kind of understand how these services that we're offering work in this context. And the auction notice says, kind of a service for a home project, estimated value, $1,000. Other party, I can't remember. Does his party have a name? I can't remember.
I do not know.
Well, we'll just call him Noah. I was like,
Okay.
saying the other party, that seems so harsh. Well, anyway, so I guess Noah bid on these services. He got the same auction notice, was aware that the estimated value of work to be done, $1,000. Um, it seems as if he contacted us, kind of explained what he was wanting, which was a very like complex sidewalk design replacement that would require a lot of like individualized cutting of pieces. It wasn't something you could just kind of like buy slats and put together. It would have been a lot more custom in that way. So obviously something one that would take a lot more time and is higher in value than opposed to the 1,000.
Okay.
I think we kind of explained that and just said, that's kind of beyond the scope of what the auction was. And it seemed to get a little hostile from there. Um,
Okay.
So I think we maybe tried to remedy the hostility by going and doing a service, and we did replace their entire sidewalk. It just seems that they're upset that it's not the particular jigsaw puzzle way, as opposed to being upset that we didn't perform any services.
Okay.
Is kind of our
Okay.
breakdown.
So, just so I'm understanding your all's perspective clearly, it's more of the amount that they bid for. Like they wanted something more complex
Right.
than what was originally intended with the auction.
Yeah. I think we're just one, maybe a little baffled that we're even having to pay them period, because we did kind of fulfill our end of performing some sort of service. So it's like to us, confidentially, to us,
Mhm.
settling for some amount is better than, sorry, for not at all, just for the fact that like could be risky going to trial or like
Mhm.
court. And then, I mean, we just would rather get out of it.
Okay.
But then again, we're probably going to be on the lesser amount. I mean, again, the 1,000 is probably more of a ceiling just given the circumstances that we don't even feel like we should have to be here to begin with.
Okay. That
So,
makes sense. That's helpful. So do you want me to go back and give them the 1,000 offer, and see what they come back with?
I feel like,
What do you want your first offer to be? Because you said that was your ceiling. So,
yeah, so oof. um hopefully it's not seen as like too much of a low ball, but let's see here. Um, I don't know. Confidentially, it probably cost us within materials and crew around like 900. So I mean, I don't want to lowball them, but I don't want to give too much leeway just because I mean they're way high up there in their in
Hmm.
their demand. So I mean,
Hmm.
we could always, just bite the material costs and I would like to pay the crew if anything. So I guess my first offer would maybe be like 500, just
Okay.
kind of middle ground.
Okay. And I think again, they came out high and
Mhm.
you're coming in a little bit low, but these are
Yeah.
first demands and offers.
Right.
So like as we go back and forth, and I'll remind him of that too, like that this is just starting
Yeah.
numbers. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can meet somewhere in the middle that both of you all will be happy with. But
Perfect.
I'll go back and give that offer. Is there anything else that you want me to tell him or share, or just give the number and go from there?
I think just the number's fine. I mean, I think anything I told you as far as our perspective isn't really confidential. I mean, I think the only thing, I mean, maybe don't elaborate how angry we are to be here.
Hmm. For
But
sure.
I mean, I think if we have like super conflicting perspectives, that might, you know, that could always help find a middle ground if for some reason something comes up that's
Sure.
so.
Um, and just one final question for you before I go back and give them this number. Um, like you kind of already said that you all are okay to pay some money today to kind of remedy
Yeah.
the situation and not move forward. Is there anything else that like you all are really like wanting to get out of the mediation today? Like, do you have a goal and like is what else are you looking for? Or is it just kind of like you're willing to pay and then you just kind of be done with the situation?
Let's see. I feel like there was one little thing in here. So something I guess that I think is confidential to us is like we would be willing to pay money, but I guess also it says like provided that because the people that really made the money was like the scout troops.
Okay.
So we're like, I guess since they're not really a party here, it's hard to do this, but like why they couldn't just give their money back.
Hmm.
But that might not really like work out in this scenario since we don't have a a third party. So,
Okay.
yeah, just being able to kind of settle and move on is probably priority one.
Okay.
So,
That's helpful for me to know. And so I'll keep everything confidential. I'll just go over and give them your all's number of 500 and we'll go from there. So I will be back.
okay.
Hi, Noah. I'm back.
Hi, that being recorded thing scares me every time.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's funny.
Okay, so they came back with an offer of $500.
Oh, okay. We're way off here. Um, what did they say about their offer?
So I kind of asked them about their perspective, like you had asked me to. And she said that I could share with you all, like, kind of what their
Okay, sure.
perspective is. And so they are kind of feeling as though there wasn't necessarily a breach of contract because the work was completed.
Okay.
So I don't know if that helps you get a little bit of insight into like where they're at. And then kind of that first number and everything came from obviously this money going to the scouts, and then kind of like the costs and the crew and all that kind of stuff is like where that first number is coming from in their
I
perspective.
I understand where they're coming from.
Hmm.
I but at the same time, they didn't do the job right. They didn't communicate with us. I feel like it's not and I want what's maybe I shouldn't ask this, but what do you kind of like? What don't you think it would be fair to say, well, why didn't you communicate with us? Like, why didn't we have any control of the process? Like, it's not like we wanted it done your way. We wanted it done our way. And like, we had no control of the process. Had we known that, we wouldn't have made the bid. Like,
Okay.
we had this path done a specific way. We wanted it renewed in a specific way, in this the
Mhm.
way that it was. You change the character of the path. We feel that because we it wasn't a repair, it was a complete redo, and it was not a redo that we necessarily asked for. The in our let me see. There's a specific charity auction. Get your walk redone. It
Okay.
wasn't it wasn't a rebuild, a renew, it was redone. And redone would seem to imply that
Hmm.
it is being repaired to what it was, not a completely new path. With
Okay.
that being said, I'm fine coming down off $4,000. I
Hmm.
can do 3,250. But we can't like we can't do anything even within the hundreds. We have to be up. We have to be much higher than $500
Okay.
before we consider a deal. Having said that, I appreciate you sharing the perspective. I understand where they're coming from,
Hmm.
but it said in the when we looked at the Mason, or when the scout leader told us, he assured the audience that you can get your walk redone. He
Okay.
did assure us that he would make a completely different path.
Okay.
So we tried to communicate with him. He didn't communicate with us. It was house selling season. We wanted it done quick. He wasn't working, and when he did, he just showed up, and he didn't. We didn't have any say in it,
Okay.
and so we feel we're owed more than $500 because at the end of our day, it's our house. We're trying to sell it. We're trying to get it on the market,
Hmm.
and he's working on. He's not working on a schedule that works with us, even though we paid him to do so.
Okay. So
So
just so I'm understanding and I can kind of go back and share your
yeah,
thoughts on it if you're okay with me sharing.
yeah. So tell me
So
what you're thinking first, then I can see if it's okay. But
yeah, yeah. So it's kind of you are weren't fully informed when you made the bid then, or it wasn't
it
clear.
wasn't made clear
Mhm.
that we, when we heard that it was going to be redone, that it meant you're going to change the character of the pathway. When we try to communicate with this guy, we had no, he didn't communicate with us in the peak of house selling season. He shows up on our property. We just show up. He happens to be there, and it's a completely different property. It's a completely different change in the way the property is characterized and looks, and we didn't have any input. And so the structure itself is not the problem. Like, we can walk on it, but we wanted it redone. We
Mhm.
didn't want it changed in character, and we
Okay.
needed it done quick because we were trying to sell this house.
Okay.
So
And so you're okay with me sharing that perspective with them?
hold back the house thing a little bit,
Okay.
unless
I can do that. That's okay.
hold it back.
Mostly,
She'll come back to us, and then if I just don't know if I feel comfortable revealing that information right now. I'll think
okay.
about it for a little bit,
Okay.
but if it comes
Mostly,
back
I
to us,
just want to share the perspective that you
yeah.
all were under a different impression from the wording of what happened at the auction.
So the auction, I'll give you more of a clear perspective. The facts seem to indicate that the auctioneer who volunteered for the role got up in front of the crowd and assured the audience, this guy, in quotes, this guy can do anything. Get your walk redone, a new garden wall, which we didn't do the garden wall, but we wanted the walk redone.
Okay.
We called him to try to get this product started, and he kept putting us off because he said it was too busy.
Mm-hmm.
He said too much work. I can repair it, but replacing is too much. is what he
Okay.
said. He said he would repair it. So we showed him the bargain we made through the pamphlet from the auction. He was kind of whatever, claimed to have another appointment, and we followed up, and it was just an answering machine. Come
Okay.
back a week later, he'd come on our property and completely change the character. That's our
Okay.
perspective of. We emailed them, um, and like we emailed the scouts, but we just we wanted it done a certain way. We didn't have a choice in it. So
Okay. I think I understand more clearly now, for
yeah,
sure. So I'll go back and share this number with them. I'm sure
okay,
they will be appreciative that you came down, and I'm sure that they will possibly come up a little bit. Again, that was
okay,
their first number, so I don't want you to be too discouraged because that was their first number. So I'll go back, give them that number, we'll talk to them a little bit, share a little bit more about your perspective, and we'll see what we can do. So I
sounds
will
good.
be back.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can you one more thing?
Yeah.
Remember, I want you to like the language used specifically. It was the scout leader said, "Get your walk redone," and then he said, "I can repair it, but replacing is too much." So
Okay.
that
I
left
wrote
us
that.
with the impression. Okay, I
Okay.
just want to double check you had the language correct.
Yes, I wrote those down. So I have that specific language and I will make sure to share with them too. So,
Perfect. Thank you very much.
mhm. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay, so I have a new number for you. They came down a little bit to 3,250.
Okay.
So we do have a reduction there.
Mhm.
And then I kind of shared your perspective with them, and they
Mhm.
said that they did understand where you all were coming from.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's a positive thing that like they are kind of understanding your perspective and like seeing where your all's kind of number was coming from and everything. And I got some more information from them as well, a little bit more about why their number was so high compared to why your all's was so low, and there was a pretty big disparity. So what I got from them was that when they came to the auction that
Mhm.
day, there was specific language that was either printed on the auction pamphlet or said during the auction by the scout leader or the auctioneer or somebody along those lines. And it was that it was quote, it was get your walk redone.
Okay.
And that kind of implied that it was going to be redone to like refurbished to what it was before,
Gotcha.
not like redesigned.
Understood.
I
Mhm.
don't know if I said that clearly, but does that
Yeah.
okay?
And that's what the like auctioneer person said is what there's like.
Yes.
Okay.
And so and then along at the same auctioneer, same thing. They said, quote, this guy, meaning the masonry,
Yeah.
can do anything.
Okay.
So again, some language there made them have a belief that
Mhm.
things were going to go a certain way. And then when they reached out to the guy who was going to do the sidewalk.
I think that's me.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, then when they reached out to you.
Because I think I built the sidewalk.
Oh, okay. So then when they reached out to you and you were like, I'm very busy, there's lots of things going on, and you said, quote, you can repair, but
Mhm.
you can't replace.
Mhm.
And so that in their mind said that you're going to repair the old walk, at least, but you were not going to replace the whole thing into something totally new.
Gotcha.
And so that's where they're coming in with the breach of contract was that from the language at the auction, from your language later on after they had reached out to you, that they thought that they were getting something
Mhm.
that was a certain way that they had wanted it, and then they didn't get that. They're not saying that the work itself wasn't done or that the work itself wasn't up to par because like they say like it works, they can walk on it.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
just that it was not conveyed to them or something different was conveyed to them than what they had in their mind that they were getting.
Okay.
I
That
don't know
makes
if I said that clearly enough, but
No, you did. I guess our sort of counter or like perspective in comparison to that is no matter what the auctioneer said, whether that was, I mean, whether it was true, whatever he said, the like bid thing obviously, stated what it did and used very specific language of like repair, fix. So, I mean, I think they probably understood or at least should have understood what they were getting into based on bidding and reading the auction. And if they like have problems with what the auctioneer said, then it's seems more like something that they should take up with that party as opposed to us, just because we have no control of what
hmm
the person says. And really, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to like what the bid said, like,
hmm
services provided.
Okay.
So I guess that's our like one holdup. Also, I think, let's see, where did this go? Um, so I guess their kind of perspective on they thought it would just be like a repair as opposed to like a replacement, like when we did the work. I think when they initially contacted us, they wanted some sort of like jigsaw puzzle situation, which I think is what they had essentially before maybe. Um, but it kind of sounds like to like repair that it would have to be a replacement because all of that is a very like unique cut custom design thing. So I guess we understood them to think that they wanted a complete repair or complete replacement based on kind of what they were wanting, which is why we like turned it down and told them like doing a replacement is too much. So I feel like I don't know if I explained that well. So I guess whenever we like kind of told them no, essentially, we told them, quote, I can repair it, but it's too much to do a replacement. So I guess from that language, I take that they expected a replacement to begin with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Mhm. It seems like
It seems like a lot of miscommunication or like interpretation differences, I
yeah,
guess.
it does. And that's what it seems like right now. And I think like from their perspective, that's the biggest thing is just that like there
Mhm.
was miscommunication or from their minds like no communication at all.
Gotcha.
And so like when like it's their perspective that like okay, they did this auction, they did the bid, they paid for a service,
Mhm.
and then like they had minimal to no communication and they didn't get the chance to communicate with you about exactly what they were wanting. And then all of a sudden they showed up and it was
Like a new.
done and it was something like totally new that they'd like never talked about, like never communicated about with anybody. Like it was just like a very big surprise, I guess, I think from their perspective. Again, I don't, it seems like from what you said earlier, there was like some communication that went on that got hostile, and I am not sure
That's
about
what
that.
extra information to give you. I don't.
Okay, if you don't want to share, you don't have to
No,
share.
no, I can share with you. I
Okay.
don't know. I mean, I guess they probably know that they did this based on it. But I think after we did, replace the sidewalk, did our services, the which I guess probably makes us feel like we really shouldn't have to pay is because the homeowner went on to like essentially send nasty emails about us and like claiming that we cheated them. And so I guess we feel a little bit like that could harm our reputation as well. So
Okay.
it's like kind of a like we perform services and on the back end are also like having like could have reputational damages. So it's makes us
Okay.
feel even more strongly on not paying as much.
Okay. Um, that's a important thing.
You got out of the room and I was like, oh, I forgot that.
No, 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 that's okay. Thank you for sharing that with me now. I feel like that's something that I could talk to them about, and see if like if they were to either like you said it was emails, it wasn't like a review.
It said they must have gone on the scouts email list, and like complained because you heard from another customer that they like were claiming that you cheated them. So it seems like it's pretty widespread.
Okay, because I was gonna say if like would you all be willing to like come up a little bit in price, like if they would agree to like resend some of those comments. Like I obviously have to talk to them about this. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to come up with ideas for how we because we're still pretty far
right.
apart money wise. Like would you be willing to come up a little bit if they were willing to like resend some of those comments or something
Yeah.
like that?
I think what was our first offer? 500.
Yes.
I don't want to move too quickly just because I want us to seem pretty firm in our stance. So like I think we'd be willing to come up maybe to like 700 and maybe with some contingency of like repairing the reputational harm that they've started. I don't know, to the
Hmm.
extent that it's gone, but just to kind of lessen the damage that could come from
Okay.
emails.
I think that's a good idea. It seems like that your all's reputation is something that is obviously important to you as a business. And so, I mean, I think if you all are would be willing to like give a little bit more money in exchange for him taking down those comments or resending or,
Yeah.
going back to people he emailed and saying, hey, never mind, they fixed it, it's all good, or,
Yeah.
um, I think that that would be a good idea. So, is that the offer that you want me to take back to them?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I will do that and then I will be back.
Alrighty.
You scare me every time.
Sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
So we had a good chat. I kind of gave them your perspective, told them the quotes and everything that we had talked about kind of the wording of everything that you all had gotten and your perspective on that. And they kind of understood like that there was definitely some miscommunication going on. And they came back with an offer of 700,
Oh,
500. So,
I if they're not going to come up more, I just don't see this working out. Like
okay.
this is they're not even in the thousands. Like we dropped $750, they moved up $200. If we're doing it percent wise, we took off probably 20%. I would
Hmm.
say maybe a little less than 20%. Well, yeah, probably 18, 19%. They moved up. And so, I mean, if you do, I don't know. I just don't see that as that's not great. I just, there has to be more
Hmm.
because if not, I just, this, we're kind of at our wits' end with this. We
Okay.
want, we need more. Like, I
Okay.
don't even know if it's worth saying another deal other than just we need more money.
Okay. I will say that along with that 700, because this was something that I talked to them about, um, and they had disclosed to me that after the walkway was done, that there was some emails sent to other customers. Um, they said that
Um,
you would know this. Do you know this?
I I might keep talking. I might.
Okay.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I want to hear what she had to say about it.
Okay, that there was just some emails sent to other customers kind of being like they cheated me out of what I was supposed to get. And so because this was something that I was just like, you all are still really far apart. Let's see if there's something other than money, like, or if they would agree to come up in price, if you would agree to like resend those statements that you made. Um,
I'm fine resending the emails. I would just like, but I'm not going to do it. $700 is ridiculous. Like
okay,
that's insanely low. It the auction itself was we put 1,200. Like they're not even meeting us at the initial bid,
okay,
and we it's going to cost. Not only is it the 1,200 that we should have had it done the first time, but it's delayed. We're in a rush,
hmm,
and in order to get a good mason, we're going to have to pay more than that. And
okay,
so we can't do anything. And I don't know what you can do to get us here. We can't do anything under 2,000. Like it's just impossible.
okay,
More, but even then, I don't think we're going to be happy at 2,000.
hmm.
And
Well,
so,
I'm thinking, what if we do give them a bracket?
what do you mean?
So this is a tool that I can use as a mediator where I give them a bracket, and basically what is in the middle of our bracket means that that's what we would settle for. So it means like we're definitely not going under this, but like we're not going to go above this. And what's in the middle is essentially giving them a clue as to what we would settle for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I I think for us, what we really want is at least
Okay.
$2,700. We just 2,700 is our ideal. That's
Okay.
kind of we could that's kind of our soft minimum. Our hard minimum is 2,000, and that you don't need to disclose the hard minimum.
Hmm.
If it's immediate, even if it's under 2,700, it's a we have to consider. Like it has to be. It might not be a guaranteed yes. Under 2,000 is a guaranteed no.
Okay.
Anything above 2,700, we're good to take.
Okay. So for me, that bracket would be is your like the low end of the bracket would be the $1,200 because that's what you all paid for the bid essentially, right? And then the high end of the bracket, if we want the 2,700 to be the middle,
That would be so you add 1,500 to that. That'd be what 39? No, 42.
see, this is like where I get really bad at
No,
math.
you're good. So the distance between the 1,200 and the 2,700 is 1,500, right? So it's 1,500 plus 2,700. That gives you $4,200 in the high end, correct? Is that how I should be interpreting this?
Yes. So,
I'm fine because we that was kind of our thing was like that's kind of what I was thinking too. Maybe not as structured. I like the idea of the bracket, but I I was trying to work within those constraints, and I don't even feel like they're putting in a good faith effort of getting to that 12. I think you've been fine. I I think Grace. I've had an issue. I think Grace $1,200 would be the minimum.
hmm,
That's what we paid,
hmm.
and we're not even being offered a refund. And we it feels insulting
Okay.
to not even be offered the minimum refund, much less that's not. that doesn't cover everything else that we need to do. And
Hmm.
so when we sent those emails, we were upset and
Hmm.
we felt taken advantage of.
Okay.
And we bid in good faith. We thought they would act as a reasonable Mason would. We probably were acting a little emotionally. Don't tell her that, but we we agreed. They asked us to meet for mediation. We agreed. Um, we checked another Mason. He said it's going to cost $3,000 to $3,500 to redo everything.
Okay.
And so we're not even asking for the full payment of redoing it. We just want to get this over with, but we're not going to take something so insultingly low that it's not going to actually solve anything. So
Okay.
I'm fine if you want to introduce the bracket idea. I think that's great. I'm all for it. Um, I want to hear what what Grace has to say. I think Grace has a different perspective than me on this, and that's fine. But I just don't agree. Like we're not even getting the refund, and that's a problem for us. And
Mm.
the refund doesn't even reach our minimum, but it's insulting not even to get the refund. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do. I understand that. So I think and that's why I think the bracket is the good idea because it puts like a stop. Like we're not taking anything less than what the refund is. And so that's why I put the 12,000
Yeah,
at the bottom of the bracket.
I think I really would like. I understand that you have two people to work with here.
Hmm.
We're not going to take anything under two.
Okay.
Like that, I'm just letting you know now. I'm not walking away with anything under 2,000.
Okay.
So,
And I think the bracket that I have right now, and you tell me if you're okay with this or not. I have the 1,200 on the low end of the bracket and our
mhm.
last demand of the 3,250 on the high end of the bracket, which puts your middle point at 2,225.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. It's a little low, but like, I think for what they're offering, if that's what we agree on, that's what we agree on. I don't really feel comfortable going much lower than that.
Okay.
So I don't want that to necessarily be my offer because, quite frankly, if I say, well, 2250 or 2225, they're going to be like, okay, they're willing to move down more than we're willing to move up, so we can just keep giving them. Do you
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think for us, 2,700 if they have to have an offer. If not, I think introduce the bracket. But if you need to give them an offer, $2,700.
Okay. I don't have to give them
So introduce the
an offer.
bracket. I guess introduce the bracket with the 1,200 and the 3,250 at top. Introduce
Okay.
that bracket. Say like if they ask like, and if they ask about like, well, what do you think they would be willing to do? Like, have you got their perspective? But they said, listen, like if Grace asked that, I apologize. If Grace asks that, then say like, look, Noah says 2,700 is where he feels most comfortable. He has concerns going under that number, and he might have a little wiggle room, but it's not very much. And so that's kind of where if she's inquiring on our position, on my position, not you're not on my side, but on my position, if Grace inquires about that, then you can kind of bring up that 2,700 number, but as more of a cautious, even then he's feeling a little uncomfortable. Does that make sense? So that's kind of my perspective on it. Grace will obviously have a different perspective, but I feel a little insulted by the 1,200. I understand she has her own monetary concerns with this, or Grace has her own monetary concerns with this, but we feel a little insulted by $700. So I think the bracket's a great idea. You're muted, by the way. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
Sorry,
I was
uh
just letting
sorry.
you know.
Thanks. So I think let's do the bracket, but since you do want it a little bit higher, instead of doing the 1,200 at the bottom, I'm going to do 1,700 at the bottom of the bracket with our last bid of 3,250 at the top,
Okay.
just to give you more wiggle room. And we'll say the bottom number of 1700 is coming from the bid price plus a little bit extra because of the expenses that you've incurred over this whole thing. Is that,
Okay.
does that sound
Yeah,
okay?
that's perfect. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
So I'll go back and give her this bracket and see what she says. Hopefully, the bracket is a really good tool, and hopefully, they'll kind of see that their bids have been a little bit low, and they'll see that like, hey, we're not going to take anything less than at least like honestly, just give us at least the bid price.
Yeah.
So so I'll go see what they have to say. I'll be back.
Thank you.
Hmm. Hello.
Hey, hey.
Okay, so I have a bracket for you
Okay, perfect.
because we were just still really far away.
Yep.
Um, and they thought that the 700 was really low. And so I thought just I suggested the idea of doing a bracket because I just thought it would help to get us to a closer place because we're still really
Yep.
far apart. So their bracket is 1700 on the low end
Okay.
to their last bid, which was 3250
Okay.
is their bracket. And that 1700 is coming from the bid price
Hmm.
of 1200 that they paid, plus some extra because of the expenses that they've incurred and the expenses that they're going to incur to have the walkway redone to what they want it to be.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Let me grab a phone or a laptop charger. Sorry. My party was lose by default. My laptop died. Um, okay, so there was 1700 to like 3000 something.
Yes, 1700 to 3250, which was their just last demand.
Okay. Um, oof. So let's see here. I guess our bracket would we would probably do like a counter bracket just because I don't know if we're that close. We still just have a hard time, one, really wanting to pay anything, but we know that's probably not that point is kind of past at this point. But having to pay for them to refix it because there's nothing wrong with it. From our kind of understanding, most individuals would be very happy with the work that we did. I think they just want it to be a very specific design. And I mean, really just going back to the like auction notice, we really put in more than what they even bid on. So I guess for us to like have to pay for them to refix it is not not ideal. Um,
Okay. Um, I feel like because you said that like you all would like to settle and that would be your best outcome, like I will say I think like you're gonna have to at least give them the price that they paid for the bid. Um,
yeah. And I think we'd be willing to do that just because I think it's beneficial both ways of just getting something out of it and going.
mhm.
You said they paid, sorry, 1200 for the like auction item itself.
Yes, that's the information that I have from the other party was 12,000 or 1200. Goodness, sorry.
Um, okay, so maybe just counter them with a bracket that is like our lowest would be the 700 we just bid to their 1200 what they paid for and see if that. sparks anything.
Okay. You want it to be the because the bottom of their bracket was 1700. Do you want it to be 1200? You want it to be 1700?
Um, Probably 1200 and just
Okay.
see if that causes any movement. I just
Okay. One second. Let me just do some math.
feel like given the work we did and the reputational damage, it's, you know, there's some
Okay. And so
any
just so the bracket's purpose again is kind of what the middle is like what you all will be willing to settle for essentially.
right.
So the middle number of that bracket, the 700 to the 1200 is $950. Does that sound okay?
Um, I'm trying to think, what did I say? 700 to 1200.
Mhm.
If it's not too much math, what would put the middle at 1000?
Um,
Or I guess what would put the middle at the 1200, their like auction price,
okay.
if that's not too much math. I don't mean to throw it all on you.
No, it's okay.
With the
The
seven.
second number would be their 1700, the
Okay, then let's do
bottom of
that.
their bracket. Okay.
Let's do
Um,
700 to 1700.
okay. And that might make them feel a little bit better since like your numbers were two of the numbers on both of your little
Exactly. Yep.
brackets are matching now. So, um, okay, I'll go back and see what they have to say. And I will be back.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello, hello.
Came back with a bracket themselves.
Okay,
And their bracket is 700 on the low side, so their most recent bid.
okay.
And their top number is 1700, so the bottom portion of our bracket, which I think is a good sign because now we have two numbers that are the same, right? When we first started out with
Yeah,
4,000 and 500 as our starting bid. So we now have two numbers that at least are the same.
we have to have at least two. We
Okay.
just can't. We can't do 17. I understand. I think I admire Grace for the bracket. I really do. I
Do you want me to go back with a final
I
demand and say we have to have, you want to
did
do,
she say she was willing to go to 1700? Did Grace say that?
I can ask. I
Okay.
don't know if I'm allowed to say.
No, you're good. I if it's confidential, it's confidential. I understand. I think the fact that we have a bracket's good, but we can't we can't go lower than two, and even then, it's not a feel good offer or a
Okay.
feel good walk away number.
Hmm.
I
Well, go ahead.
2700. Did you bring up that number at all?
I didn't because she just wanted to come back with the bracket.
Okay, I think that would be kind of our comfortable offer. I would really like to do. Sorry, I'm just trying to think here. What was the middle number on our bracket before?
So the middle of, because we did 1700 and 3,250, the middle of that is 2,475.
What if we? Okay, that's actually not a bad number. What if instead we moved up that 2000 as the minimum and made 2700 the top, and then they made the middle number 2350.
Okay, so you want to do,
So that would be our kind of, we have to be within this constraint. No, like that is a non. non-negotiable bracket for us.
Okay. So you want me to go back and say, hey, like, you want me to tell them that this is non-negotiable. Like, this is kind of like, it has to be within this or we're walking
We
away.
also, another thing that I didn't bring up, we are fine rescinding the emails
Mm-hmm.
if they apologize to us, if the scouts apologize.
Okay.
It's conditional on the scouts apologizing for this entire fiasco.
Okay. Would you drop your number if they agreed to an apology?
No, that
Okay.
is that is the that is the condition of us rescinding the emails. That is a completely separate deal
Gotcha.
from the monetary damages.
Okay. So you want me to go back with this bracket and say it has to be within this range or we're gonna walk away.
Yes.
Okay, you're good with me saying that.
Yep.
Okay, and then I'll tell them we're good to resend the emails, but that's conditional on an apology.
Correct. Let me double check. I'm going to read over this one more time. Make sure it's all good. I don't maybe don't mention that's what we want to walk with, but tell her like that's our bracket. Like that's our if it that's our hard bracket would be that 2000 to 2700. Don't say it's our walking number, but say it's a hard bracket. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I can do that. I think it might be hard where we did the 1700 before to now bump up our bottom number.
That's just a non we can't walk away under two. Like we just
Okay.
can't.
Okay. I'll tell them that and um I'll see what they say. She's probably more than likely going to come back with another bracket of her own.
That's
We'll
fine.
hope it's going to be more but I'll let her know and I'll be back.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm.
Did
Okay.
you did you see my message about the recording?
No.
Well, okay, when you got back in here, it said recording in progress, but when you left earlier, it said like recording ended.
Oh. I think it still says on mine it still says recordings. Maybe it's like when I leave the room it
Okay.
stops recording
Okay,
here.
perfect. I was like, uh-oh.
I don't know. Okay, so I have another bracket
Okay.
and this is like the I have to this is like a hard bracket,
Okay.
if that makes sense. I think that's
Yep.
the best way that I can say that.
Yeah.
So the bottom is 2000 and the top is 2700.
Hmm.
And they've agreed to resend the emails with the bad comments or like however you fix that. I don't know if resending the emails is the correct way to
Hmm.
say that, but fixing the reputational damage that they did.
Hmm.
As a condition to that, like separate from money, like as a condition to fixing the emails,
Okay.
they would like an apology.
I'm sorry, for real.
They would like an apology.
I can't wait to watch that back when I laughed. Let me ask you this beyond this exercise. Was there anything that he sent in the email saying if we don't reach an agreement?
No.
Okay. I
So
I fear we might not.
that, okay.
Um,
He didn't say anything.
because I 2000 is just a no.
Okay.
Not to like make things difficult, but yeah. So I guess if that's their like hard kind of final offer or final kind of thing, I guess we would counter it. Well, I guess back up too, sorry, not to interrupt everything else that's happening, but 2000 doesn't even make sense to me whenever they said that they paid. 1,200 for the ticket auction item, and then it was 700 to fix. Is that what you told me earlier?
It was the 12,000 bid and then just like some extra.
So they're just like hypothetically like speculating what it might
They
cost.
do have a number for what it would cost,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
they aren't asking for the full amount of that because it is like a lot.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So, okay, that makes sense.
So they're not asking for the full amount to fix because it is like
More than that. Okay.
a
So
lot.
I
Yeah.
retract my statement.
Hmm.
Um, I don't see that we could do that. I think just to kind of give them one like further, here's kind of our final. We would be willing even to go up to 1,500. Well, no, maybe like 1,350
Okay.
with the emails, but no apology.
Okay. Do you want me to say like, is this your best and final?
I mean, pretty, yeah. Because I feel like we're now just like going beyond what we even really wanted to settle at, but I think settling is also important. So I think, there's a give and take. So yeah, probably.
Okay. So you want me to say this is your best and final?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will do that. I will be back.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm back. They have come back with a best and final of 1,350 with you fixing the emails, and they are not going to apologize.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
Okay.
So, um,
Do you want to come back with a best and final for them and see?
um, I um I I just don't think that's good for us. I I think we just offer them 2,000 and say we expect an apology and we're sending the email.
Mm-hmm.
And if they say we're walking, that's is what it is. If they want to negotiate off that 2,000, that works for us.
Okay.
But it's not. That's just where we are at this
Okay.
point. 13 is way too low
Okay.
for us to take. So,
Okay. I will let them know.
all right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they've come back with a best and final of 2,000 with the emails and with the apology.
I fear we're at an impasse here of no settlement.
Okay.
Um, hmm. Which, yeah, hmm. All right. That's like their like hard number.
That was their best and final.
What was my last one? 1,350.
Hmm.
How set are they on this apology?
I think that they would really like the apology.
And it's just to them personally?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Okay, 2,000. So their number didn't move from last time, did it really? That's still the floor of their previous bracket.
It was still the floor of their previous bracket.
Okay. I will give them the apology and hard number like 1,500.
Okay.
Maybe that will
Okay, I will let them know. Thank you. Okay, they came back with 1,500 and they will give you the apology.
Okay. What about 1850 apology and we'll resend the emails?
Okay, I will let them know. I
Okay.
think we are getting close here. I think there might have to be some give and take from
I mean, I
from
feel like we've given up 2,000.
hmm
We're below the minimum. I feel
Okay.
like we've given a lot. Like, have from your perspective, what have they given? Like, do you feel
hmm
like it's equal give and take, or do you feel like one side's kind of
I agree. You all have come down a lot. And I think that we go back with this 1,850 and I we're close enough to their last one that I really hope that they would accept it. But I agree you all have come down a lot and um hopefully we'll get it
okay?
settled.
Well, I appreciate Grace making that rise in the offer, but
Mhm.
like we have to. There's just we're already below the minimum, so I don't know how much even like I don't even feel comfortable offering 1,800 right now.
Okay, so you want to do the 1,850 or you don't? Either way is okay. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding.
Um, let's do it. Let's
Okay.
do 1850.
Okay. I'll be back.
All right.
Okay. They appreciate you adding the apology and coming up. They came back with 1,850.
Okay. Um, Hold on. Let's see something here. I was gonna say I was gonna meet the middle, but the middle is a lot more than I thought.
I will say, I know it is really important for you all to settle, like we talked about in the beginning, and they have come down from
Quite a bit,
4,000.
yeah.
And I think like if you all are really, really wanting to settle, like proportionately, they have come down a lot more
Oh,
than
okay.
you all have come up.
Okay.
I will say, like it's totally your all's decision, and I don't want to put pressure or anything like that.
Okay.
Um, but I will say, like, just where the numbers are out. Like we started out 4,500, and so
That's
they
true.
have come down like a lot more proportionately.
Okay.
So I don't think that like if I obviously don't know the financial situation, I don't know all of that. But I do feel like this is a a good offer considering where they started out at.
Okay. Do you think they would respond well to meeting the middle of R2 at like 16, I think it's 1675,
I
or even like 1700?
I can ask. I think like they're at the limit. If I'm being completely honest, even like the
Okay.
past two or three times going back and forth, I think it's been about it's this is we're already like lower than what that they were wanting.
Okay. And what was their offer?
Theirs was 1,850. But I can go back with 1,675 or 17 and see
Okay.
if you want me
Okay.
to.
Yeah. See what happens. And if
You want me
not,
to go back with the 1,675 first, or you want me to do the 17?
do 17, that might. And then if not, we'll wrap it
Okay.
up.
Okay. Okay, they came back with 17.
I think it's 18 or we walk.
Okay, I will be back.
All right.
That's quick.
They said 18 or they're gonna be done.
All right, let's call it 18.
Okay.
I feel like settlement is better than no settlement in this situation.
Okay, I will let them know that you accept, and then are we supposed to come back together or am I just like supposed to end it?
I guess we could just do it back together and make sure we're like,
Okay, I'll like write up a
yeah,
agreement. And so I'll bring everybody back together.
okay.
I'll be back. Okay, they accepted your 18.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a settlement. I'm gonna bring everybody back into the same room and we'll write up an agreement and then we'll be done.
Okay.
Okay. Let me close all rooms.
Noah, you played the long game.
Grace, you also played the long game. We were in this for a while.
I'm really regretting those words about this isn't really that complex. It'll be easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I just think we had a completely different um notion of what the numbers were supposed to look like. So
Uh-huh.
uh I think we
Okay.
came back. We were a little surprised on both ways with our offers there.
Okay, so I'm writing up our settlement agreement. It's going to be 1,800
Okay.
from Grace to Noah
Okay.
with the emails are going to be fixed,
Yeah.
Yeah,
however
whatever.
you say that. I don't know the correct term, and an apology is going to be given. Um, does that sound like what we had discussed and agreed upon?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
I can't wait to see everybody
here you
else's
go.
number.
Yeah, I think it's
And
gonna be higher.
sign, sign, and
Perfect.
be.
Thank you.
Did she tell you that I laughed whenever she said an apology?
When I said that,
Yep, I laughed and I was like, "Are you serious?"